Welcome everybody to Why 5% Succeed. We are here to hear from small business owners about how they're increasing return on investment, and you can too. I am so excited to have Gail Lynne Goodwin, the founder of InspireMeToday.com, as my guest on today's show. Gail is an amazing woman. She has accomplished so much with her business. She really understands that inspiration is the beginning of everything. It's how you are able to get out of bed in the morning and get your business rocking. And Gail recognized the need for small business owners and, frankly, people around the world to get this inspiration on an ongoing basis. So InspireMeToday.com provides daily inspiration to over 22 million people around the world. She has been able to interview privately Sir Richard Branson, Guy Laliberte, the founder of Cirque du Soleil, and many, many other very well-known celebrities. I'm so excited to have Gail with us. Gail, welcome.
Thank you, Elaine. It's my honor and privilege to be here and support your amazing show, so thank you for the invite.
Well, I talked a little bit about what it is you do, but I'd love for you to share a time when you needed to do something for your business, for Inspire Me Today, and you were just unexpectedly blown away by an incredibly rewarding experience that you had. It was just above and beyond what you expected to experience with this person, and whatever it was, you just had to purchase for your business. You just had to make, it could be an airline ticket, it could be anything. But could you share with us an example of something that just blew you away?
Yeah, absolutely. For my entire entrepreneurial life, Richard Branson, Sir Richard Branson, has been one of my idols, one of my heroes, one of my mentors from afar. And I made it a goal of mine to meet Richard and to interview him. And I don't know him. And you think, well, where do you start with something like that? And actually, Elaine, you were the one to thank for this, in that you introduced me to someone who introduced me to someone who introduced me to him. And it came from my friend Julia called me one day and said, I'm doing a video for YouTube, and I want happy dances. I've called 25 of my favorite people. I'm asking you to go out today and do your happy dance, and I need it by the end of the day today. Can you do it for me? And I said, of course, I'll take care of it for you. And then the day got away from me, and it turned into one of those days that are not terrific days, and I didn't feel like doing my happy dance, but I did. So I went out into the woods and did this happy dance. My husband is there videotaping it, and when we got to the edge of the woods at our friend's house where we're doing this, there's a trampoline. And he goes, oh yeah, up on the trampoline. So up I went, and I said, well, come on, give me something, motivate me, come on, help me get in the mood. And he's like, Richard Branson just called you, and he invited you down to meet with him on Necker Island. And Guy Laliberte, the founder of Cirque du Soleil, emailed from the space station. And he's going on, just yelling these things out, and I'm jumping and hooting and hollering, and wow. And the funny thing is, Elaine, we came back 3 hours later. 2 things happened while I was jumping on that trampoline celebrating. The first one is I got an email from Richard Branson saying, next time you're in our area, I'd love for you to pop by and have a glass of rum. And it was like, oh my, I still have the email. And then Guy Laliberte's assistant emailed saying Guy would love to be interviewed from the space station. Right now he's in Star City, Russia at the cosmonaut facility. And I was like, wow. So what I did was bought those tickets to make both of those things happen right away, because they were things that I had on my goal list. I had no idea how they were going to happen. I just knew that they were going to happen.
That's so true. When you hold the vision of what you want and you really stay committed to that ultimate reality and you take small baby steps towards it. I love that you were celebrating in advance, because that really makes a huge difference. So another question for you, what is your favorite way to get people to engage and interact with you? I know you're really big on Twitter. You've been doing a lot, and of course with your website, you get a lot of people responding back to your messages. What is your favorite technique to get people to connect with you and engage with you?
It's really funny that you're asking me this. I think my answer for that 2 weeks ago would be different from today. I tried something new. I went a little more old school, I think it might be the way to put it. You're right. I love Facebook. I love Twitter. I've got gazillions of people on LinkedIn, but I don't use those nearly as much on a personal level. About 2 weeks ago, I pulled out my iPhone, and just started going down through my list and started texting, sending quick texts of, hey, I want to catch up. And I've caught up with people that I have not personally spoken to in years. And the funny thing about this is I find that that text message, bing, people instantly go to it versus email. I don't know about you, but I get buried by email and things get lost. But if you send me a text message, I'm on top of it. It's right there. I respond immediately. It's quick. It's easy. I don't have to get into this long, lengthy thing about how's the family, how are the kids. Not that I don't want to know, but time is important. If I have a quick question, I text it and I move very quickly because of that.
You know, that's such a good insight because people are more responsive to text messages now.
Totally.
And that's a really, really great point. Thank you for bringing that up. It's very tactical and something we can all adopt in our businesses today. I love that.
Sure.
So I want to move on to relationships. We've been talking about the rewarding experience that you create because that's truly what attracts people to you, is creating an incredibly rewarding experience. That's why they want to connect with you. That's why they want to have a relationship, which is number 2, is the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I define a relationship a little differently than a lot of folks do. I think a relationship is strictly a series of rewarding experiences. People come back to you again and again because it's so rewarding.
Sure.
So what has been a really great work-related experience that you've had? And why was it so great?
Well, you know, I think one of my favorite things that I do is read the Today's Brilliances. Each and every day we ask one luminary, if today were your last day on the planet and you only had 500 words to leave to humanity, what have you learned that matters? And when you really think about that, wow. So I get such reward from reading those, but I think my most rewarding thing that I do is I run what's called Inspired Adventures. I live up here. You probably can't see out the windows in the back, but I'm being filmed today from Glacier National Park in northwestern Montana. We actually built a home inside the park, and we run these Inspired Adventures, and it's where we invite people to come up and hike with us and just experience the glory of nature and then do masterminds and inspirational things while we're all together. And everyone always leaves these 5-day events going, wow, when's the next one? So that to me is probably the best because it does build relationships. When you're out there hiking up a mountain together that you don't know, I mean, the last time we did one, I had a gal who came up from Florida, had not hiked in probably 20 years, and she made a 15-mile hike with me. I was so proud of her, and she was incredibly proud of herself for being able to do it. So it not only pushes the limits in every way business-wise, but it, you know, through our masterminds, but it does physically as well. And it's nice to know that we can still be young enough and spunky enough to get out there and have some fun together and create those kind of rewarding experiences together.
Well, I want to ask you for another little tidbit because you gave us such a great response earlier on texting, but what's your favorite software or product or tool, and how are you using that to really enhance your client relationships, your audience relationships?
Software. Probably Twitter. It's probably the one I use the most. Well, I'm going to say it's a toss-up between Twitter and Facebook because Facebook, I've just recently gotten into Facebook groups, and that is such a powerful tool to be able to invite people into a private group, and it's almost like a mini mastermind where you can inspire and focus specifically on what you're building together. And Facebook groups have probably been the thing that I've explored, discovered, and I think almost mastered in the last few weeks, and that's been a really fun thing because I've never done it before.
That's a really good observation. I like that. I haven't really been leveraging Facebook groups, but you're right, that can be a very, very powerful tool.
Well, a friend of mine, actually one of our luminaries is the one that did this for me. He contacted me through Facebook and said, I'm starting a group to help build other people's social media presences. So I've picked 10 people. I stuck them in this group together. I added you. I hope that's okay. All I ask is once, twice a day, go into the group, see who the other members are, and go like, share, and support the work that they're doing in the world. And it's like, how brilliant is that? How easy is that? Of course I will. And it's not only brought all these other people into my life, it's elevated all of us because our posts are getting liked and shared, and the buzz starts in that way. And it's something anyone can do. Just go pick 8, 10 people, however many you want, create a group, invite them into it, make it private. You can post things in there. And it's just a very inexpensive, easy way to elevate your business presence without any cost, without much effort.
That's great. I'm going to put that in practice. So I want to move on to reputation, which is the third way that you create a return on investment. And really, because people are engaging with you and because they're following your best practices, their reputation is improved. Because they are a part of your community, their reputation's better. It's not about your reputation, it's about theirs. And so one of the things that I find that's really challenging is getting people to collaborate. And sometimes incentives and rewards are really effective at getting people to participate at a deeper level. Have you found certain things that really work for you?
We have. Probably the biggest thing that we found that works for us is we're always looking to grow our reach, to get Inspire Me Today's content in front of more people each day. And what we found that really has worked, if, for example, Elaine, when we featured you, or when we featured Jack Canfield or Richard or whomever, we ask them, you have your own tribe, you have your fans, share this link of your information on our site. And so each day, we have a different person, and each day that different person is blasting out in their own sphere to whomever they know, saying, hey, come on back here. And the lovely thing about it is it not only helps us grow, but then more people the following day, like if you're featured on Monday, the person who's featured on Tuesday is going to send more people to the site, and Wednesday more people to the site. And so by collaboration with all these different luminaries together, everyone gets elevated, everyone has a brighter spotlight, shining not only on them but on everyone else as well. And so that's worked out very well for us to just explain the concept of collaboration rather than competition.
You're so right. You're so right. You're right on the money. That's one of the reasons why I love what you're doing and why I so wanted to interview you. We're like minds.
Thank you.
Well, I do have another question for you. So one of the keys to helping grow reputation is making it easy for your clients to provide referrals, reviews, and endorsements. Is there anything that you're doing with your business that helps people, like you said, you help them share, but what else are you doing to help them give you those endorsements and referrals?
Well, we do it several different ways. We ask them for testimonials if they want to share the experience of what it was like to be a luminary, and they're going to get comments on their page from people, and it can be, we're in 185 different countries now, so it can be anywhere around the world. And some of these folks are writing in to say, wow, I love what you wrote, and some are writing in to say, I want to go deeper. I really need to understand this because I'm stuck, and I'm stuck right here. And when those luminaries reach back and interact with our community, amazing things happen. And so from that standpoint, I think it enhances all of us, not only our site, but also the reputation of that luminary. They're a caring, concerned kind of person. And so that definitely works as well.
Thank you. I'm just going to take a quick look at a comment from Scott. If this was your last day on the planet, what is it you learned that matters? How would you answer that question, Gail? And then he wants to know from me how I would answer it.
Well,
so, Gail, what's your comment?
My first comment is go to inspiremetoday.com, go to the search box, put in my name, and you can read my exact 500 words. But in a summary, don't take yourself so seriously. Life is meant for us to enjoy, and the things that we are so worried about today, we're not even going to remember what we were worried about a month from now. And so take each day, enjoy this moment, not later, but right now. I mean, take a deep breath and look around you. What are you grateful for in this moment, in your world, in your life? And focus on that. When you focus on gratitude, your life just gets better and better and better. I start and end every single day with, what is it in my life that I'm the most grateful for? And usually, I usually sit on a ball. I'm not right now, and usually I'm like this, and I'm bouncing all day long, because when you focus on those kind of things, you feel like you just want to move, and that builds excitement. And from that excitement, your business starts to rock. And you can also go to inspiremetoday.com, and in that same search box, put Elaine Starling. And Elaine has answered this question as well, so you can go read her 500 words too. And Elaine, you asked another question. You asked another question earlier on referrals. Every single time we feature a luminary, we ask, who do you know that rocks? Who do you know whose information we need to include? And so we use that. We also use Help a Reporter, HARO, which you're familiar with as a resource to ask people who are definitely looking to have a big spotlight on them, whether they're promoting a product or a book or a business or an idea. We want to be there with that spotlight to say, this person's amazing, check this out. So I hope that answered your question, Scott.
Great job. Absolutely a great job. And I'm not going to take up time to do my 500 words. I did write an article, so I'll encourage you to go there. Otherwise, I'm going to get off track on the interview, but thank you for posing the question, Scott. So I want to move on to the fourth kind of return on investment, which is revenue. And most people don't define it the way I do. I look at revenue in three different ways. It's how do you help people make money, how do you help them save money, and how do you make them feel like $1 million? And I'm sorry, but from where I sit, inspiration is the beginning to everything. It's just like you were saying, Gail, with gratitude. You've got to start with that inspiration and get yourself up for the day to start working on your business and start making inroads and connect with people. So I see everything that you're doing is really fundamental to all three kinds, because if you don't feel like $1 million, you're not going to be able to make $1 million.
I couldn't agree with you more. I look at it this way, as when you start out every morning, your cup is empty. You need to take the time to fill your own cup before you can help nourish anyone around you, whether that's in whatever way in your business. Whatever you need to do, you need to be coming from a place that you're whole and healthy and raring to go. And when you bring that kind of excitement into your business, watch out. It's really interesting, Elaine, that you mentioned revenue, in that some people look at us and they'll say, well, are you making a lot of money? And it's like, we thought when we originally founded Inspire Me Today that we would make a lot of money and that this would be a membership site and we'd grow it and we'd sell memberships. And then we realized that the people who need the inspiration the most are mostly the ones that have the least ability to pay for it, especially in some of the third world countries where we have huge audiences. Even $3, $5, $10 American is a lot of money in India or in Bangladesh or in wherever else these people are coming to us from. So we've learned to redefine success. We also didn't want to charge our luminaries, because then we said, wow, then we get people who can afford to buy our service, but they may not be the most inspirational people. And I don't want to sell out. And that's basically what it felt like for me. So we've redefined success for us of, are we making a difference in the world? And in what way? And when we get emails back from our community members, I probably get one a week or so saying, the ones that touch me the most are the ones where people will say, this specific luminary wrote this just for me. I needed to hear these exact words today, and God bless you guys for including this and for putting this person out there, because it changed my life. We've even had people say, I was planning to kill myself today until I saw this. And that's how powerful someone's words can be. And it's really funny, because Kristen, our COO, and I both read every single one of the Today's Brilliances, even now with all of them. There's a lot that come in. And we weed through and we pick the best ones. And sometimes she and I, we rate them together between the two of us. And the 10s obviously are the ones that go out. But sometimes we'll have an 8 or a 9 that I'll say, I think it's good, but it just doesn't do it for me personally. And she'll fight and say, I love this one. And we'll put it out and we get more comments than anything else. And so I've learned that what strikes me as inspirational isn't always what's going to touch someone else's heart. So we've gotten to the point that anything above a 7, we say, great, let's go for it, because we've learned, from experience that different things will inspire different people. But it all starts from inspiring yourself first in the beginning of the day.
Thank you. You are right on the money. And I think the other thing that's so powerful about what you're doing, there's a reason why you're getting more and more sponsors to support Inspire Me Today. It's because word is catching on like wildfire. People really want to be a part of this. They want to share their own ideas of what's important, what makes a difference in this world, how to grow your business, as well as how to grow your life. And as a consequence, more and more people are reading every day, commenting on it, sharing it on social media, and sponsoring Inspire Me Today. It's really, really powerful. I commend you for all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Now, one more question for you.
Oh, please.
I'm sorry. I have
No, I
one
was
more
saying,
question.
please.
What do you find is the best way to give luminaries a little supportive feedback? Because obviously they want to do a great job for your audience, and they also have different goals that they're trying to accomplish. How
Sure.
do you give them insightful, constructive guidance so that they can provide the greatest value?
It's funny that you ask that, because we initially, when a luminary would send it in, we would just accept it and be grateful for it. And now that we have so many coming in and the demand for people to be featured is so high, we're getting more picky. And I think the way that we're looking at this is, sometimes if people have a new book on, how to make a widget, they'll say, well, my 500 words are, you need this widget, and here's why you need this widget, and they go on and on and on and on. And trust me, if they were on their deathbed and were surrounded by their loved ones and their grandchildren were saying, Grandma, tell us what you learned, tell us your wisdom, they wouldn't be saying, go buy this widget. They just wouldn't be doing that. And that's what we gently and lovingly come back to them and say, our community comes to this page to say, yes, they come to Inspire Me today to remember who they are, that they're not their problems, they're not their bank account. Those things do not define them. And we want something that helps them remember that they are infinite beings with unlimited potential. And when they recognize that and when they remember that, then their days just rock. And so we're more strict now and going back and saying, I love what you wrote about your new widget, and I'm thrilled that you have a new widget. That's great. However, let's put that over here on a blog post. Now come back to those 500 words. Talk to me from your heart. And that's really what we ask our luminaries. And sometimes we've gone back 2 and 3 times saying, you're getting closer, try again. Because I really like where you're going, but expand on this part. So we just constructively and very lovingly ask for what it is we know our readers have come to expect. Because it's like if you're a dry cleaning business and you start selling hamburgers, you're going to confuse people. And we want to be very clear on who we are, what we do, so that someone knows they can come day after day after day, and they're going to walk away from that 2 or 3 minute read with, wow, life rocks. I'm good to go. Let's go tackle the day and have fun. And that's what we're going for.
That's really good, good perspective, because people do want to be successful and they want to support you at the same time, but sometimes you have to give them a little bit of guidance. And I think often people are reluctant, especially if you're counting on somebody else to support you by providing an article, and yet you need it to be on target or it's not really very useful for you or for them. So you have to have the courage to reach out and give them the direction they need in order to be successful. And
I found out through this kind of experience, Elaine, that in any kind of collaboration, if you're really clear on what your goals are and you're really clear on helping present the other person in the absolute best way that you can, it's always going to be a win-win for both of you.
Thank you. That's exactly what we're trying to do on Why 5% Succeed. You couldn't have said it better.
Awesome.
Okay, I have one final question for you.
Sure.
We're talking about the 4 different ways that you create a return on investment. And the first one is by creating an incredibly rewarding experience for your ideal clients. The second one is to have great relationships, and that's both the quantity of relationships as well as the quality of the relationships. The third is reputation, and the fourth is revenue. So I asked you a number of different questions. Is there anything I didn't ask that you think I should have asked that you'd like to answer?
That's a very interesting question. Not specifically. I think the most important thing in any business or in just life in general is follow your heart. It will never lead you wrong. Follow your heart rather than your wallet. So many times people in business, look at what you're doing. Do you love what you're doing? Does it excite you? Do you jump out of bed every morning saying, this is what I want to do. This is what I was made to do. If you're not doing that, go do something different. Go find out what is for you, for what your why is, what your dream, what that burning passion is, and go do that, whether it's in your business or whether you're working for someone else, whatever that is for you. Do something that you love. Life is short, and it just makes sense to enjoy it while you're here.
Thank you, Gail. You actually summarized in a different way what I always say, because too many small businesses are trying to do business backwards. They're focused on where's the revenue, show me the money. They need to focus on the rewarding experience first, because only when you have that rewarding experience do you get the relationships that develops the reputation that brings in the money. So thank you. You couldn't have said it better. And thank you so much for being my guest today.
You are most welcome. It's been my honor and my privilege. I love your program. I can't wait to see the next issue. So keep up the great work. Thank you again for being one of our amazing luminaries on Inspire Me Today. And for any of you listening, please feel free to check out inspiremetoday.com and feel free to email us at info@inspiremetoday.com with any of your questions or your suggestions. Thank you.
Now, before we close out the show, I have to introduce you to the fabulous Debbie Davis. She's been our technical advisor. Hi, Debbie! She's doing a great job behind the scenes, helping share comments and making sure we don't have too many meltdowns on the technology side. So thank you for being a part of it, Debbie, and thank you for participating for everybody who's watching. And we'll see you next week, again on Wednesday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. Take care.
Bye.